everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jill, otherwise known as the Enlightened Target, and this is my new rescue, Rascal. Welcome to our YouTube channel. This channel is devoted to narcissistic abuse awareness and recovery, parental alienation, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and anything associated with those three main topics. Today we're talking about a specific type of narcissist, and a dangerous one at that. Today we're talking about the spiritual narcissist, the narcissist that claims to be devoutly religious. They may even be a pastor or someone that holds some type of office at your church. It's important to understand that narcissists will use anything to manipulate, abuse, fool, and take advantage of other people. And religion is no exception to this rule. When it comes to the narcissist getting what they want, nothing, and I do mean nothing, is off limits or sacred. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I would like to invite you to please subscribe and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every week. Also, if you are interested in narcissistic abuse recovery coaching, please visit my website or send me an email. Both are linked in the description below. So today we're talking about the spiritual narcissist. Some people refer to them as the most dangerous narcissist you will ever meet, and many times they are the most difficult to spot. Why are they difficult to spot? The biggest reason, in my opinion, is because we aren't expecting someone who claims to be religious to actually be a predator. We don't think about being victimized by someone that we go to church with. Our guard is down just by the fact that someone claims to be religious or who we interact with at church or at religious gatherings. And these days, more than ever, I hear my coaching clients tell me how they were deceived in the worst ways by a person they believed was deeply religious. I have also been victimized by a spiritual narcissist. So today I'm going to give you my top 5 things to be on the lookout for if you think someone you know could be using religion to manipulate and exploit you or other people. Number 1, like with all narcissists, the spiritual narcissist's words and behaviors behind closed doors will not align with the virtues they claim to uphold and the doctrine of their faith. The spiritual narcissist will take the word hypocrisy to an all-time high. I've seen it up close and personal myself, claiming to be such a religious man of God. Then when we were behind closed doors, I witnessed narcissistic rages, disgusting and inappropriate sexual conversations, and very clear racist and sexist views about other people who did not look like him or believe exactly like he did. Now, the one I'm referring to was an overt narcissist, so he was out in your face with this type of deplorable behavior. But coverts will exploit and manipulate religion as well. Don't think for 1 minute that they don't. Of course, they're going to be more difficult to detect, so you'll have to pay closer attention. But again, their behaviors will not align with their faith behind closed doors. These narcissists are literally the world's biggest hypocrites. They have one set of rules for themselves and a completely different set of standards for everybody else. And of course, they're the only ones entitled to utilize these double standards. Number 2, the spiritual narcissist will justify his or her harmful and abusive behavior by using spiritual or religious explanations. This, in my opinion, is the ultimate betrayal. Spiritual narcissists will manipulate scripture and doctrine to their liking and benefit. They will present scripture completely out of context, twisting and turning a specific passage into something it was never intended to mean in order to justify their abuse or keep you submissive to them or to guilt you into forgiving them for things that are just flat out wrong and abusive. And I cannot tell you how many times a narcissist told me that I had a biblical obligation to forgive him for what he has done. Notice how the responsibility has shifted off of his abusive behavior and onto my obligation and duty to forgive. These are classic and very typical manipulation tactics for the spiritual narcissist. And if you are unaware of them and you're involved with a spiritual narcissist, it's incredibly easy to fall prey to this absolute nonsense and unknowingly continue to believe these bold-faced lies. Number 3, the spiritual narcissist behaves superior, as if they have a direct pathway to God and are all-knowing to what God's demands are for a righteous life, beyond what anyone else knows or could possibly understand. They are the chosen one. Remember, a narcissist's goal is to control other people, and they have an addiction to feeling special and superior, and having a direct connection to God. Boy, oh boy, that's power. Now they've managed to be the key holder to your salvation. It doesn't get much more powerful than that. And unfortunately, when they present this to unsuspecting people, or when you were raised in a family like this, they can keep you subjected to their will and abuse indefinitely if you do not understand what's going on. And let me tell you something else. They know exactly what they're doing. Don't think for one moment they don't. All religious cult leaders will be malignant narcissists. They want their followers to worship them as if they themselves are a god. And of course, you hear about all the horrible abuse that goes on in cults, from pedophilia to underage marriages to extreme physical, emotional, and psychological abuse. Severe parental alienators also utilize the same manipulation tactics as cult leaders because they are also malignant narcissists. They all tend to utilize the same manipulation tactics. Dr. Amy Baker has done extensive research between how cults and obsessed alienators use the same tactics to brainwash their victims. It's a wealth of information to exactly how malignant narcissists accomplish severely alienating children from a targeted parent. It's just so sad and heartbreaking. Number 4, the spiritual narcissist will use spiritual jargon to intimidate other people. Oh, they love to do this. If you dare do anything that they don't like or agree with, guess what? You're going to be met with scripture completely taken out of context in order to shame, blame, or scare you into submission. Nothing gets a victim to succumb to their will quite like being intimidated with eternal damnation. You know what I mean? It's terrifying. And if you actually believe the lies they're throwing at you, then chances are you're going to bow down to these intimidations. Number 5, spiritual narcissists lead by force, not by example, and they are unforgiving if you do not comply with their wishes or interpretation of the doctrine. They tend to control with an iron fist, so to speak. Following their commands is not an option, and if you are unwilling or aloof to their control, then they have no problems forcing the issue. This could come in the form of narcissistic rages until you succumb, or if this is your parent, they may use severe punishment until you comply with their wishes. If it's a covert narcissist, he or she may utilize days and days of the silent treatment or withhold love and affection in order to get you in line with their wishes. You name it, they will use it to force you into submission. And if you betray their authority, then that is not forgivable, and you will be punished dearly. They are usually not forgiving. Again, a very real example of how they do not practice what they preach. They will, of course, expect you to be forgiving for all of their transgressions, but if you anger them, they will not extend that same olive branch to you. Once again, the spiritual narcissists take hypocrisy to the limit. The rules and the doctrine they use to groom and govern you and others simply does not apply to them. Okay, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. The links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone.